So we've talked about color, and in this short demonstration, I want to show you how you can use color to bring attention to certain parts of your page and how you can lead the eye through color. I have a page of quick studies of a white wagtail here, and I want to add a bit of color information as well as structure the composition a bit. You can see it's really just a full page of study drawings, and I want the eye to be led around the picture a little bit. So I'm thinking of having this sort of circle that the eye can travel in, led by the colored parts of the painting. And for this purpose, for figuring this out and explaining my thought process a little bit better, I've done a thumbnail drawing of this page. And I thought about, I want to be this bird, I want to have him in color. And for the white wagtail, it's really not much color. It's just this middle gray and the black and white. But still, we're talking about color, about information that's something else than just this pencil drawing. So I want this bird to stand out, and then judging from there, I thought, well, it would be nice to have the eye travel around the page in sort of this circle and then come back to this one and then slowly exploring all of the other drawings. So I knew that going from here, I probably want this bird to also to be in color. And incidentally, these are the two of the largest and most detailed drawings of the wagtail that I have on this page. And I'm not sure if I need it for this. This is quite a small page, and these are not really big drawings, but maybe I can add a little bit of color information also to this bird here. So let's just add it in very roughly with these colored pencils. What this will look like. And the reason why I think that I can get away with adding a little bit more color information is because these birds are so sparsely colored. Their plumage is just in this very monochromatic pattern that I think I can get away with adding a bit more color information than I would usually do on a page this size. I would usually color maybe 1 or 2 elements. And now I think we have a nice flow, but there's something missing, and the weight doesn't seem to be evenly distributed. So I think I want to add this one as well. And maybe it will be enough to only have the head in color. So for all of these, you have to imagine there's the bill and the eye. So maybe I will stop here and not add in the full. Let's look at my sketch. So I have almost all information about the bird that I need. I could color in the tail. I think I'll decide spontaneously what I will do, if I will add the dark tail feathers, but it sort of looks balanced this way to me. And so the other sketches on the page will add more information. You can see I have even added a bit more than is here on the thumbnail. But I will work with this, and I will switch from these colored pencils to watercolor. And I'll show you my palette. All I really need for this is one color, and that's this black here. So this is Payne's Gray, and then a little bit of a watered down version of my Payne's Gray. So this is all I will really need for adding this color pop to these sketches. So I have a very watery mix of my Payne's Gray. I'm picking that up with my brush, and since I know I want to add color to these two birds, at the very least, I can just add my gray to the back and to the belly and to the wing portion here. There's a little bit of a white crease here, and part of the wings are also white, so this is just supposed to be a very quick sketch, very loose. I don't want to fiddle around too much with this because, you know, it's more about the concept here than about the execution. I'm going to let this dry and then I'll come back with the Payne's Gray and add the rest of the color. So while the gray on the back is drying, I'm going in with a slightly darker mix, slightly less watery mix, and I'm adding in the feet and the bill of each one of the birds. Now that everything has dried, I can go in with my Payne's Gray and add the darker part of the bird. So I don't want to overwork this, so I want every brush stroke to count. The tail is dark and it has this white edge. And then we have the wings that also have a white edge. But you can see how just this little bit of contrast helps to pull the eye towards this drawing. So when you sketch birds, don't just make everything round, really consider the shape of the head and of the rest of the body. So it's not just two big oval shapes. They really have these sort of edges that you have to pay attention to render a really realistic bird sketch. And one thing that's characteristic for wagtails is the really long tail in proportion to the body. Okay, and I think I've forgotten the tail of this one, so let me just add this. So what I've done now on this page is with the watercolor, I've added contrast to a few of the sketches, and so these are the ones that will attract the viewer's eye. So what I want the viewer to do is maybe start at this bird and then have him circle around the page and slowly take a look at all of the drawings and always come back to one of these and then take a look at all of the others. So this is what you can achieve with adding color selectively. You don't have to add color to all of these birds. You want variety on your page. You want a certain amount of detail, but not in every area. So you want to have these focal areas where you have more detail or more color. And it doesn't matter what kind of technique you use. You could use colored pencils or ink or whatever you like. It's not about the technique. It's more about having a page with different stages of detail and different areas where you have maybe a very rough stage, like still with these pencil drawings, and then something that has a bit more contrast and a bit more detail to it. So that's what I want you to take away from this. You can see color, even if it isn't really color in a strict sense, because black is sometimes not considered a color, it's more like a value. But you can still see that this would work with any color. If this were a red bird, it would even work better. So I want you to experiment with this. If you have a page of pencil sketches, then try adding color in a few selective spots, or maybe take even just one sketch and bring it to a finished stage and add more color to it, add more detail to it, create a focal area on your page. And this can be achieved very well with color. If you found this video useful, it's part of a longer video class called Sketchbook Composition. In this video course, you will learn how to create beautiful and interesting sketchbook pages. It will introduce you to the basic layout and composition principles that you can use on each page and in each sketch so that your sketchbook will look better immediately. I will share my favorite tips and strategies that I use and introduce the design principles behind each one. You will learn how to add different elements, where to put them on each page, different compositional approaches, and how to create variety in your sketchbook. You'll learn these design concepts step by step with lots of examples and sketching demos that you can adapt to your own way of working. The whole course has over 90 minutes of video, so I hope you will join me for this class to explore how to make your sketchbook pages look more beautiful.